Welcome back to Bumblebee. We are back with our collabs again. There's two hosts this time. We're joined today by Big Ched, and I don't have a nickname
yet. And that's Taylor.
That's Taylor. I'm
wow,
Taylor.
That's
Hi.
Taylor. That's crazy. We're going in hard today with top 10 unusual things in the life of a 60s Playboy bunny.
Let's do it. Let's get scandalous.
Let's get scandalous.
Kicking off the list at number 10, opening day. The first issue of Playboy was released back in December 1953. No young mind would ever be the same ever again. Oh, I see. Cupboards just got a lot more risky in the household, to say the least. At 50 cents a pop as well, too, nice and cheap. Just bing bing, and then you get some. These papers were selling like hotcakes. Now, cut to February 29th, 1960, the world's first ever Playboy Club opened downtown. On a leap day too, how magical is that? The motivation originally here was just to have a place to hang out with friends. That's what Hugh Hefner himself said back in 2016. My initial concern was how to recreate the club for members and the fantasy that was reflected in the pages of the magazine. And he just wanted naked people around. As it turned out, we put it all together and they brought the fantasy with them. Yeah, they brought the fantasy with them for sure. The club was known at the time famously for its sirloin steaks, believe it or not, and then people were also a fan of the, bunnies that served them. That was the start. And then celebrities started to come in, VIPs would show up, the magazines started to do really well, and more Playboy-esque clubs were opening all around. If you were an official Playboy bunny, you started with an official instruction manual. There were demerits applied if your tail was scruffy, if you were holding and or smoking a cigarette the wrong way, more demerits were taken. Yeah, points would be taken away, like it's Hogwarts. Can you believe that? If you think that's awful, buckle up. The 60s were weird, and this is only the start.
Number 9, wild parties. I mean, as if Taylor and I had to say this, but there were some wild parties at the Playboy Mansion, especially if we're talking about the 1960s. Flower power was in, as well as Versace boots, and a whole platter of new and exciting extracurricular activities to stuff up your nose, or snort, or smoke, or ingest. I think you get what I'm saying. The Playboy Mansion has hosted many parties and events, having high-esteemed VIPs and socialites attending said events to get their freak on. Whatever that means. Is this the place I'd like to be? Maybe. I'm not kissing or telling. I also feel like kissing around here may have certain side effects that will have consequences on my day-to-day life. So, with that in mind, I'll just stay home.
Number 8, the Playboy outfit. We've seen the iconic Playboy bunny outfit everywhere in pop culture at this point. We've seen it in Bridget Jones' Diary. The House Bunny as well with Anna Faris, just a great movie, wildly underrated. But just how comfortable was the iconic outfit? It doesn't look comfortable at all, honestly, it was horrible. According to Suzanne Singer, who worked as a Playboy bunny back in the early 70s, she said the costumes would not be altered if anybody were to gain weight. She said you couldn't breathe wearing these things. And as if that already wasn't an uncomfortable position to be in, these bunnies would also have to do a weigh-in. Yeah, a weigh-in. How horrible is that? Why do we need that? This isn't UFC. We're running a club here. We're not choking out different weight classes. There was a chart and everything for these bunnies. It was humiliating. If you were to go 5 pounds over an ideal weight, you would get a warning. Yeah, ridiculous. You'd be suspended until your weight went back down. Even if the outfit did fit and that horrible process wasn't an issue for the time being, you were still on your feet all night wearing those horrible, uncomfortable heels. These workers would put their feet in the toilet and flush it over and over just to try and get the swelling to go down. That's how bad it was. Meanwhile, cut to today's standards, you get written up at work if your shoes aren't safe enough. You know what I mean? Those aren't non-slips. Well, go back home and get some bulkier ones, Stan. See ya.
Number 7. The first men's Braille magazine. Say what you will about the Hefmeister, but he was innovative. A man who had modern solutions for modern problems. A trendsetter for amorous men across the United States. A man with a dream. The magazine, with such lewd centerfolds, can be enjoyed by all. And if you're like me, this is your kind of reading material, as it's mostly just pictures, because I can't read. However, what if you are someone who struggles to see? What if you're someone unfortunate enough to be blind? Hef said to himself, smoking a cigar in a velvet housecoat. And like someone who has a good idea, Hef got a good idea, similar to how a certain industry today is starting to experiment with VR. In 1970, Playboy was the first men's magazine to be printed in Braille. No juicy article would go unread. No centerfold shall be underappreciated. God bless you, Hef, making the gorgeous ladies accessible to all.
Number 6, Gloria Steinem. Back in 1963, the Playboy Club in New York City was one of Hugh Hefner's greatest accomplishments, at the time, of course. Now, the club was the talk of the town until Gloria Steinem came along. Gloria was a feminist writer. She created Miss Magazine back in 1972, but her career began much earlier, around the 60s. She got a job as one of these Playboy bunnies and worked at the club undercover. That's right, how cool is that? Gloria was secretly taking note on how this key holders only establishment was operating. The staff were of course these young women, the bunnies, and they had to wear those tight, horrible bodysuits with the horrible, scruffy, puffy tails, the whole getup and all that. And at just age 28, Gloria worked undercover there for 3 weeks. The piece she released after, appropriately titled A Bunny's Tale, got so much attention that it kickstarted her freelance career. How amazing is that? It made her a feminist icon. This photo of Gloria undercover shows you the comfortable work outfits they had to wear. I sure hope she had on her non-slips at this point, because this is just, I can't even see in this. It's like a dark room, there's smoke. I would say corner all the time. In a collection of her writings, Gloria reflects on the undercover piece, saying that now it's outlived all the Playboy clubs, both here and abroad. This was before Hefner passed away in 2017 also. I'm sure she didn't mean outlive literally by this statement.
Number 5, Pamela Anderson. Okay, not the 60s, but Pamela is literally just Playboy. Most beautiful woman in the whole world. The blonde bombshell of Canadian fame is remembered for a lot of things, but perhaps her most legendary act was appearing on the cover of Playboy magazine 12 times. More than anyone else ever. You gotta be really special to appear on that bad boy 12 times. I haven't appeared in a magazine even once, so honestly, kudos. Rising to stardom in the 90s with her hot TV appearance on Baywatch and her internet appearance on a leaked video with some guy from Motley Crue or something, I don't know. Not like it was a big enough deal to get a whole series on Disney Plus about it or anything. Pamela is fierce, bold, and beautiful, and if Borat doesn't get to her first, then marry me. We can live a gorgeous Canadian life together as husband and wife, with maple syrup, and Mounties, and beavers. Lots of beavers.
Number 4, hidden cameras. There's only one camera here, right? Alright, cool. This next one, you might want to tape your laptop camera of. This is trust. I don't trust laptop cameras. I also don't trust people with sticky notes over their camera. You ever see that? You like see their laptop and it's covered, you're like, okay, I'm seeing you. What do you watch, huh? That's a question. Back in the 60s, Hugh had hidden cameras installed in the mansion. It's not odd for a business to do this by any means. Obviously, you need cameras to watch in case anything goes down, but these, like I said, were hidden, and the microphones as well, they were just, you couldn't see them. Also, like that dark room, everything was hidden at that point. They were used mainly to spy on what the bunnies were talking about. A lot of the time, these workers would want to talk to each other about issues throughout the night, like, I don't know, it hurts to walk, I can't breathe wearing this, everything sucks, our manager's an asshole. On top of everything, other workers weren't even allowed to talk to the bunnies. They had to literally ignore them. Sandra Theodore dated Hugh in the late 70s and said Hugh had tapes on everybody. And yeah, that includes you. Cover that camera.
Number 3, Playboy Mansion Haunted. This honestly comes as no surprise to me. A multi-million-dollar mansion that's been hosting lavish parties since the 60s with the wealthy and the beautiful. No shot some old dude didn't see too much thigh after vacuuming up the party supply of no sugar and just keeled over. However, that's not the ghost I'm talking about today. According to one playmate, after relaxing on a bed one evening, she was shocked to see a phantom-like figure staring at her from her closet. Now, I've seen enough horror movies to know that when you start seeing ghost ladies in closets, it's time to drop what you're doing and de-ass the area, even if you are in the company of gorgeous models. A warning to ghost hunters though, if you go in there looking for ghosts with black lights, you'll go blind, and we'll probably have to read the Braille editions of Playboy from here on out.
Number 2, no haircuts. Over the pandemic, my hair grew out a little bit, as you can probably tell. I also, as you can probably tell, have no idea what to do with it. This is a mop, I hate it. I change my mind literally every week. Chris can attest to this. But if I get my hair cut tonight on a whim, maybe I'm feeling good, maybe I'm feeling confident, maybe I'm ready to embrace some change, I won't get in trouble for it tomorrow morning at work. If this was the 60s, however, at the Playboy Mansion, well, you're in a lot of trouble. Not on our watch, pal, let's do it. Like I mentioned earlier, tabs were kept on weight. Tabs were kept on if your tail was scruffy or not. It wasn't bizarre for Hefner to completely flip out on his girls because they cut their hair a little too short. Meanwhile, this guy's, I don't know, no hair. That's ironic.
Number 1, dirty pool water. Phantoms and mysterious stains on pillows might not be the only thing lurking around the Playboy Mansion. Something submerged in over-chlorinated water beckons the thought of more victims foolish enough to wade their insured thighs into a moist pit that no doctor would recommend going near without a tetanus shot. Yes, probably ever since the 1960s, the pool at the Playboy Mansion has been full of life. Enough for a few petri dishes, that is. As in 2011, after a party, 69 people became ill, which is really just an appropriate number, really. Taylor thought it was funny, I don't know. After people were tested, it was found that Legionella bacteria was found to be the cause of everyone's sudden illness. If you take anything from this list, folks, bumblebees, just stay out of the pool at the Playboy Mansion. Just behave yourself. And those are the top 10 unusual things in the life of a 60s Playboy bunny.
It was pretty wild, not gonna lie. It's none of that was good. But if you want a part 2, comment down below. We'll gladly return
Let us know. Let us know.
We can Google more of this topic. We can look at this.
Oh, I could read this stuff all day. No
I have
problem.
some books too. We can go back, have like
Got
a,
some
you know.
magazines. One of mine stuck together. I don't know.
I
Anyway,
love reading.
Yeah.
We'll see you next time on Bumblebee.
Bye. He be gone. He be done. Big time done. Oh, here we go. My wife. Let's go. Okay.
Although it also did.
He died. He canceled like 1,000 times right now.
Yeah, man. He's
Oh, he be done.
You picked a great time to die.
Okay, I'm seeing you. What do you watch, huh? That's a question. That includes you. Cover that camera.
Me?
Oh, I'm talking to you, Chad.
No, thanks. Oh no. I hope they don't got nothing on me.